I'm Charles, and welcome to Wow Dynamic Walking. This week we're going to take your dynamic walking to a new level. We're going to do something called Nordic walking. And as you can see, we are using some poles. These are specially designed poles which we're going to use so that we utilize the upper body as well as the legs. And this should make the legs feel so much easier and make you work with forelimbs like animals do all the time. So first you get some lessons on how to do the technique. We even get lessons on how to climb up a hill and downhill, and we get to experiment with this so you can go safely downhill and also learn how to climb the hill. Now the poles are going to help you, and as you can see, everybody can do this. When they're using the poles, it looks almost like they're walking normally, but they're actually pushing with the poles on the arms, pushing behind them to push their body forward. And so it's not as much work for the legs, they get some help from the arms. So you can see the different techniques people are using, and we've got all levels of fitness taking part in this. There were even a couple of people there with Parkinson's disease. Here's a demonstration of how to put the wrist straps on. That keeps the poles in your hand even when you let go. And now we're going to watch Nordic walking in action. So you can see the technique of pushing the poles. As you bring the pole forward, you grip as you plant it into the ground, and then you push it back and let go. If you notice the hands, they grip in the front, they let go in the back. And because you have the wrist straps on, as you let go, they stay, and when you bring your hand forward, the pole will be in your palm. So that's the technique. It's just like swinging your arms and walking, and it makes you use your upper body a lot more than you would normally. So I call this four-limb walking or four-limb dynamic walking. As you can see with the steps, they're very similar to what we were doing with the dynamic walking. You're just adding the arms. So these are poles that you can buy. They're quite expensive sometimes, but you can get them for as cheap as, say, £20 for a pair. And now we're going on, having learned how to do the techniques. On another day, we would take a trek. In this case, we took a 5-kilometer trek, going over some hills and valleys. And of course, we do have a rest every now and then. And then off again. So going uphill, with the techniques that they have learned for going uphill, this was relatively easy. And then we use a different technique for going downhill. And you get to be out in the fresh air, enjoying the terrain. Nobody gets left behind. I normally have one person in the front, and usually myself at the back. And by the time you do a trek, you are familiar with the techniques, so it's not a problem for you. And finally, we come back to our starting point. We haven't lost anybody, and believe me, it's a lot of fun. They still look fresh. Lovely scenery along the way. So these are some more hills So you can see some of them were quite steep. We didn't quite go to the very top, don't worry. And again, we do have a rest every now and then. So Nordic walking is something that we're going to progress to. And if it's something that you would like to do, I'm going to organize some training. But first, those who want to do it would need to get Nordic walking poles. I have about 20 pairs of poles, so I can conduct classes. So the next time we also meet somewhere in Bournemouth, or even, as you can see in the photographs, this is Plaitas, we can do all this. Thank you very much.